The ocean often holds secrets, timeless and untamed. Beneath its vast, mysterious waves, lies a tapestry of forgotten stories, whispered by the winds, concealed by the deep. But some secrets don't remain submerged forever. On a stormy morning in 1943, off the coast of Spain, a humble fisherman named José Antonio stumbled upon something that would forever alter the course of history. What he found was no ordinary flotsam. It was a dead man, bound by chains, carrying a black briefcase with a locked clasp. Little did José know that this seemingly lifeless figure, adrift in the cold waters of the Atlantic, would play a role in one of World War II's most cunning deceptions, changing the tides of war and rewriting the destiny of nations. Today we dive into a hidden chapter of history, a story so bizarre, so meticulously crafted, it could have been ripped straight from the pages of a spy novel. This is the untold tale of Operation Mincemeat, the secret mission that fooled Hitler, safeguarded thousands of lives, and remained veiled in mystery for decades. Setting the stage, a world at war. By 1943, the world was engulfed in the throes of the Second World War. Axis powers led by Germany controlled vast swathes of Europe, North Africa, and the Pacific, while Allied forces fought desperately to reclaim lost ground. The stakes were unimaginably high and every move mattered. Military strategy wasn't just about brute strength, it was a game of deception, intelligence, and psychological warfare. Victory depended not only on soldiers and weapons but also on the cunning and creativity of the human mind. The Allies faced a daunting challenge, breaking through the heavily fortified Axis strongholds in Europe. Hitler's forces had entrenched themselves in Sicily, the gateway to mainland Europe. Taking Sicily was crucial, but it was no secret that the Allies would target the island. The question was, how could they convince the Axis powers otherwise? The answer would come in the form of a single, lifeless man, a man who was never supposed to exist. The birth of a phantom. The story begins in the shadowy corridors of British intelligence, where minds sharper than swords convened to hatch a plan that would deceive Hitler's high command. The idea was audacious: create a fictitious persona, a phantom officer with fabricated documents suggesting the Allies planned to invade Greece and Sardinia, not Sicily. The mission, codenamed Operation Mincemeat, would hinge on a single body, a corpse, to carry the deception across enemy lines. But finding the right body wasn't as simple as it seemed. British intelligence scoured morgues and hospitals, searching for a corpse that could convincingly pass as a high-ranking officer. Finally, they found him, Gio Michael, a homeless man whose tragic death from rat poison would grant him a strange kind of immortality. Gio Michael became Major William Martin, the fictional hero of a plot to save lives by spreading lies. The man who never was. Creating Major William Martin was no ordinary task. British intelligence meticulously crafted his persona, weaving a tapestry of believable details. His pockets held theater tickets, love letters, and a photograph of a fiancée named Pam. There were receipts from a London tailor, proof of a recent engagement, and even a bill from a nightclub. Every piece of paper, every item of clothing, was chosen with precision, designed to convince anyone who found his body that Major Martin was real. But the piece de resistance was the black briefcase chained to his wrist. Inside were top-secret documents outlining Allied plans to invade Greece and Sardinia. These papers were a carefully constructed lie, designed to mislead the Axis powers into diverting their troops away from Sicily. The plan was bold, almost reckless. If the Germans saw through the ruse, it could backfire catastrophically. But the stakes were worth the risk. The drop. A stormy morning in Spain. On April 30, 1943, a small submarine surfaced off the coast of Huelva, Spain. In the pre-dawn darkness, British operatives carefully released the body of Major William Martin into the cold Atlantic waters, ensuring it would drift ashore. Spain, though officially neutral, was known to have German sympathizers in its government and military. The British hoped the body would be discovered and the documents would find their way into German hands. And that's exactly what happened. José Antonio, a sardine fisherman, spotted the body bobbing in the waves, the yellow life jacket catching his eye. When he approached, the sight was ghastly: a corpse with sunken eyes, decaying flesh, and a briefcase tethered to its wrist. José, horrified yet intrigued, dragged the body ashore, setting off a chain of events that would culminate in one of the greatest deceptions of the 20th century. A puzzle for the Germans. When the Spanish authorities examined the body, they found the documents. Word quickly reached the German embassy in Madrid, and soon the supposed invasion plans were in Nazi hands. Hitler himself reviewed the documents and, convinced of their authenticity, ordered reinforcements to Greece and Sardinia. Meanwhile, the real invasion of Sicily proceeded with remarkable success. The Axis forces, caught off guard, were unable to mount an effective defense. Operation Mincemeat had worked. The secrets unveiled. But the success of Operation Mincemeat wasn't just about military victory. It was a testament to the power of creativity and deception in warfare. For decades, the details of this extraordinary mission remained classified. It wasn't until the 1950s, when the story was partially declassified, that the world learned of the ingenious plot. Even then, the full truth remained hidden. What other secrets might be buried in the archives of history? What other stories, strange and unbelievable, might one day come to light? Sicily fell with astonishing speed. Within weeks, the Allies held complete control over the island, and Mussolini's Italian government was toppled. The Nazis were blindsided, convinced by intelligence they believed to be genuine. The letters found in Major William Martin's briefcase, their authenticity bolstered by every meticulous detail orchestrated by British intelligence, had been Hitler's undoing. What the German High Command couldn't know was that their critical failure hinged on a fabricated identity. Major William Martin, the man whose body delivered the fatal ruse, never existed. Yet his death became the linchpin in one of World War II's most brilliant operations, Operation Mincemeat. But who was the man behind the myth? The corpse of Major William Martin was real, a silent witness to the deception that reshaped history. However, his identity was carefully crafted by two ingenious British intelligence officers, Ewan Montagu and Charles Chumley, masters of wartime subterfuge. A backstory worth believing. Montagu and Chumley knew that simply planting a body with vague intelligence wouldn't suffice. The Germans were formidable adversaries with sharp analytical skills, and any hint of inconsistency would unravel the entire operation. So, every fragment of Major Martin's persona was designed with painstaking precision. The first challenge was his rank. Major William Martin was positioned as a middle-ranking officer, not so high profile as to raise suspicion but senior enough to justify carrying classified materials. His name, William Martin, was deliberately chosen for its commonality. There were hundreds of Martins in the British military at the time, making it virtually impossible for the Germans to cross-check his identity. Montagu and Chumley also understood the power of personal details. They turned Major Martin into a man with a rich, complex life beyond the battlefield. His pockets carried ticket stubs to London's theaters, a receipt from a nightclub, and a carefully folded letter from a fiancée named Pam. Pam's love letters, written in elegant, heartfelt prose by a female staffer at MI5, spoke of longing and heartbreak in the shadow of war. These touches gave him depth, making him not just a soldier but a man with hopes, dreams, and a future tragically cut short. The piece de resistance was an engagement ring receipt tucked among his belongings, suggesting a recent proposal. These details weren't just compelling, they were disarming. Even the most skeptical German analyst would struggle to see through a story so human, so heartbreakingly believable. The silent contributor, Gondwr Michael. Behind this fabricated life was the body of Gondwr Michael, a man whose existence was far from the glamorous fiction created for Major William Martin. Gondwr was a 34-year-old homeless man from London who had lived a life of poverty and despair. He died after ingesting rat poison, though it remains unclear whether his death was intentional or accidental. His unclaimed body lay in a refrigerated morgue for months before Montagu and Chumley identified him as the perfect candidate for their plan. The reasons were pragmatic. Michael had no family to claim him, no one to question his disappearance. In life he had been forgotten. In death he would play a pivotal role in defeating the Nazis. A dead man's journey to Spain. Once Gondwr Michael's body was prepared, it was dressed in a Royal Marines uniform and outfitted with all the trappings of Major William Martin's fabricated life. His face was carefully shaved, and his hair was groomed to reflect the discipline of a military officer. Even the condition of the corpse was considered. The time of death needed to align with the story they wanted to tell. On April 30, 1943, the body was released from the British submarine HMS Seraph off the coast of Huelva, Spain. Huelva was chosen strategically. Spain was officially neutral in the war, but its government was riddled with German sympathizers. British intelligence gambled that Spanish authorities would find the body, alert the Germans, and unknowingly deliver the false intelligence directly into enemy hands. The gamble paid off. The German reaction. When José Antonio, a local fisherman, found the body, the wheels of deception were set in motion. Spanish authorities examined the corpse and its possessions before notifying the German embassy. The documents in the briefcase outlined Allied plans for an invasion of Greece and Sardinia, not Sicily. This was the critical moment. The Germans, hungry for intelligence, pored over the documents. Their authenticity was bolstered by the extraordinary level of detail Montague and Chumley had woven into Major Martin's life. Every receipt, every note, every personal artifact lent credibility to the story. Even the wear on his clothing and the traces of seawater on the papers were designed to align with the narrative. Convinced they had uncovered genuine intelligence, the Germans diverted troops and resources away from Sicily to reinforce Greece and Sardinia. Hitler himself believed the deception, ordering defensive measures based on the false information. A victory beyond the battlefield. The success of Operation Mincemeat wasn't just a military triumph, it was a psychological masterpiece. The Germans' misplaced confidence in the stolen intelligence allowed the Allies to invade Sicily with minimal resistance, securing a critical foothold in Europe. But the ripple effects went further. The success of the Sicily invasion led to the fall of Mussolini and weakened Axis control in the Mediterranean. It also demonstrated the power of creative strategy in warfare, proving that battles could be won not just with weapons but with wit and guile. Legacy of a lifeless hero. Ndwr Michael, the man whose body made Operation Mincemeat possible, found a peculiar kind of immortality. In death, he became Major William Martin, a hero who saved thousands of lives and turned the tide of history. Today, a marker on his grave in Huelva honors him as Major William Martin, Royal Marines. It's a poignant tribute to a man who, despite a life of obscurity, became a pivotal figure in one of history's darkest days. As for Ewan Montague and Charles Chumley, their work on Operation Mincemeat earned them lasting recognition. Both were promoted within British intelligence, and their story became a celebrated chapter in the annals of espionage. Montague later wrote a book about the operation, aptly titled The Man Who Never Was, which inspired a film of the same name. The meticulous planning and execution of Operation Mincemeat remain a testament to the ingenuity of those who fight wars not with guns but with ideas. The operation's success is a reminder of the extraordinary lengths humans will go to protect what they hold dear, even if it means creating an entire life for a man who never truly existed.